My name is Lowani, Chibesakunda, two names only. I'm the CEO and MD for Citibank Zambia. So I went to nursery school at a nursery school called Jack and Jill, which is now the Baptist Church in Northmead. And I mentioned that for a reason that I'll get to later on. Thereafter, I went to St. Mary's in Woodlands, did my primary education from grade 1 to grade 7. Having completed my primary education, I then went on to Roma Girls, another fully run men's school. And I did my Form 1 to Form 5 at Roma Girls. My father was once a banker, and I used to look at him with so much envy of his banking journey. Though it was brief, it had a major impact on what I wanted to become. So as I finished my grade 12, I was very clear that I wanted to become a banker, and I pursued that. So I firstly started off with a diploma, a certificate in banking at the Zambia Insurance Business College, and that was run by the Chartered Institute of Bankers in London. Having completed that, I knew I had to further my education. I needed to get a degree. Just looking at how competitive the landscape was even then, I knew a diploma was not going to be enough. So at that time, the financial services degree was being equated to a banking degree in the United Kingdom. So I was then fortunate enough to pursue financial services degree at the University of West of England in Bristol. And I completed that, came back home. I remember very clearly my parents encouraging me to do my master's soon after, but I really thought that I was over and done with books. The hard part of life had already been done, and I came back to Zambia. A few years later, I decided to pursue a master's program with the Heriot Watt Business School. So I got that while I was still working for Citi. Very interesting journey. I will not use the word challenging, but I'll say interesting, because working and studying is not the easiest of things. So not only did I come out of that experience with this academic paper, but also with a lot of discipline that it taught me, great networks, because it also made me interact with a lot of people that today are so useful to me and I've learned so much from. So I got that master's under my belt. Last year, started twiddling my fingers again, and then thought to myself, I can't stop here. I need to still pursue something else. I got onto a management program online because of COVID, obviously, and this was with the University of Pennsylvania, and it was called Leading in Customer-Centric Growth. I'm not done yet with my education, because at the end of the day, it's important for us to continue improving ourselves. But that is my academic journey so far. Having completed my university, I came back home, as I mentioned, feeling that the hard part of life had been done. I felt I needed a soft landing. I felt I needed something easy, something manageable. And it just so happened that at that time, Citi was taking on a customer satisfaction survey. And they needed people part-time to come and conduct this survey. The survey was just going to be for 2 months. And I said, that's easy enough. Going around asking customers questions, ticking a box, getting detail, compiling the detail, it's easy. I can do that. But the minute I walked through the Citi doors, and I remember that was February 2000, and I made a deliberate decision that I was going to work very hard. I was going to see how best I could get Citi to see the value in me. So that journey, as opposed to being a 2-month journey, now translated into this year, what's going to be 21 years. So I started off on this survey, finally got my foot in the door. I was fortunate enough that Citi could see the value in me, could see the potential in me. And it's at that point that I made, again, a conscious decision to myself to make sure that if I was ever in a position of leadership, a position of influence, a position of decision-making, I would always keep an open eye to that one individual that is also trying to make a mark, and that one individual that also just needs a foot in the door. I'm glad to say that in me raising my hand, my biggest cheerleader and my biggest supporter was a fellow woman. Today, I still look at her with great admiration because not only did she uplift me, but she also made me realize that if she could see the potential in me, if she could lift me, I should do the same. Why hold back? For as long as one is putting their best foot forward, we all deserve a chance in life. So fast forward, as I said, I'll try and summarize my 21 years, but fast forward, I've had the opportunity in City to not just be in City Zambia. I've had an opportunity to work with City in South Africa. I've had an opportunity to work with City in China. I've had an opportunity recently of working with City in the United Kingdom. And again, all those were opportunities that I have not taken for granted. I'm also one who has got strong beliefs that spread your wings, do not be scared to spread your wings. There is always a silver lining, and learn from that silver lining. In the moments where, and I'll cite one particular one, I remember walking into a room. I was representing my CEO at the time. And for me, it wasn't even apparent that I was the only female in that room. It's only when we got out of that boardroom that one of the male folk that I was quite close to came up to me and said, "Did you realize that you were the only female in that boardroom?" I'm telling this particular experience because majority of the time, that moment of recognition or that penny dropping moment that I'm the only female, at times we don't even see it because you are in there for a reason. You are in there on merit. You are in there because you've got something to add to that forum. And I'm very glad that the re-entry policy is not just biased to the girl, because it applies to even men and to young boys. What matters is having the determination to go back into school. We all have and we all deserve to be given an opportunity and a stab at something. I'm very, very pro that policy. It's one that we should encourage, even just people in our communities, because majority of the time somebody thinks that's the end of it. You fall pregnant while you're in school and you just think, this is now my life. You can actually go back to school. And that's something that we need to preach, we need to encourage, and we need to support. COVID has had a huge impact on each one of us. One of the things that we did as City, and the reason why I'm saying we is because it wasn't simply a my effort, it was a joint leadership effort within the franchise, is we had to critically think of the first thing. How do we keep our staff safe? What do we need to do to make sure that even our staff are feeling protected and they're feeling supported? Because that's what we will need to do when we start getting hits, even just amongst our staff, be it themselves or their family structures in their homes. How would we be able to assist? The pandemic is still with us. So that emphasis on staying safe and being supportive has not stopped. If anything, I think we just need to intensify it. Up until we also start to see that, yes, indeed, numbers are going down. Maybe we have vaccine in the country, etc. Last year, we were fortunate enough to make a contribution towards the fight of COVID. And this is a contribution that we were able to make to Churches Health Association of Zambia for $100,000 because they were very instrumental. We knew we wouldn't be able to do it on our own. Therefore, would we then be able to pick out a health organization that is actually fighting for it? Many years ago, there was a theme that we had as part of our Women's Month of has the glass ceiling been broken? Have women come through it, or are they above it? And we were all deliberating. I think it's very clear that now that glass ceiling has truly been broken. And by virtue of the fact that not only are we seeing the Kamala Harris breaking that glass ceiling locally, when you look around you, and it wasn't broken even just now or recently, our mothers did it, and they did it in so many different ways. Mother Teresa had a quote that I was reading the other day that said, you don't need to do great things. But when you do even the smallest of things with a lot of love, the impact is even much, much bigger. She also spoke about how just by smiling, you're giving peace. I'm one jovial person. I love to laugh. And majority of the time, I really hope it's also coming from my heart. But the amount of peace that I feel when I do smile, it's even so rewarding for myself. It grounds me, it makes me zone in, and it makes me realize why I'm doing something, my objective, and above all, who I want to benefit from what I'm doing. So to the girl child who's in school, practice all these things. You will not look back at all. And once you do it, the network that you develop from that nursery school friend right through to your primary, secondary, you'll be amazed. You will have those friendships for life. To that girl who's just starting out in her career, is trying to break through so many barriers, believe me, your efforts are going to be so rewarding. Do not give up. Just continue keeping at it with a lot of humility, a lot of love, and a lot of peace. And to that woman who is about to reach her objective, you've still got more time to go. Don't think that is the end of your journey because you think it is, but others are saying, there's still so much more of you that we can get and you can give to society. So that's my message.